This video is sponsored by Cohen Financial. More on them later. Do you guys remember how this property in auction sold for $45.7 million? Well, in today's episode, we're going to review the property right next door. It's also for sale, not in an auction, for $58 million. If you've been following the channel, you know the drill. In the first few minutes, I tell you guys 3 things I like about it, and then I'm going to tell you guys 3 things I don't like about it. And then at the end of the video, I will share with you guys how I would have marketed it differently. Deal? Should we get started? Let's go. 3 things I like about this property. Number 3, I love the side yard. I think it goes very well with the rest of the property. Look at these olive trees. Very big, great place to hang out. It's great landscaping for a property of this caliber. I absolutely love it. Number 2, location. I love the location. You're in Lower Bel Air, not too low, right next to Sunset, and not too high up. And then you're on a named street. This is a very famous street. Very expensive homes have traded on this street, so it's a good plus. And also, you're eye level with the view. It doesn't have the greatest view. You know, you got Wilshire Corridor, which is probably rated as a C, but still, you know, you're close by. Now, the number 1 thing I really love about this property is the finishes. This earthy, you know, you can call it barefoot modern, is super in right now. It really resonates with the ultra rich. They want to feel somewhere grand, expensive property, but at the same time, they want to feel like the rest of us, right? And this property really nails it on the vibe and the energy and the material used, the natural elements. It's absolutely fantastic. Now, before I tell you 3 things I don't like about it, let me tell you who I like to work with. Mark Cohen. I love working with Mark Cohen because as soon as I give him a call, he tells me if he has the best rate or he doesn't for the product that I'm looking for. And if he doesn't, he introduces me to someone else. And for that reason, he's always the number 1 phone call I make when I want to buy a house or if I'm representing a buyer who wants to purchase a property. Here's his phone number. Give him a call and tell him Arvin sent you. Now, 3 things I don't like about this property. Number 3, look, it's on the wrong side of the street, wrong side of the view. Look at the approach. It has to go all the way up and reposition you so you get the decent view that it has, right? And that is a negative. It would have been much better to have been on the other side of the street so you just enter and you see the view right away, right? Now, the second thing I don't like about this property is the fact that it's a long house. That means the layout doesn't have the best connectivity, and that is a negative. And you know what gives it up? The first photo of the interior. As soon as you open up, you don't see the view. The view is to your right. You see this long hallway, which really dictates a lot of functionality. It means this property's layout is not connected like a lot of other properties who have a very good flow, and that is absolutely a negative. And the number 1 factor that I don't like about this property. Now, if you're wondering how I know all this stuff, I'm Arvin 𝐷𝐷𝐷. I'm a real estate agent by day in Beverly Hills. I specialize in luxury and ultra luxury, and I'm a consultant at nighttime. You don't have to live in LA to work with me. You can reach out, book a consulting call. I can help you find the right real estate agent. I can guide you through the process and help you out, right? Now, the number 1 thing I don't like about this property is the shape of the lot. Look, not just you're on the wrong side of the street, but the lot, you're forced against the mountain on one side and you barely have any backyard on the other side. It really feels forced. And for that reason, you don't get anything but the view. You know, your backyard is really the side yard, which is beautiful, but it's just off center. And then your backyard, you have a tiny backyard with a long swimming pool. And on the other side, you're forced against the mountain. And that is all negative. Now, you're thinking, Arvin, how would have you marketed this property differently? Great question. Look, the elephant in the room is the property next door. And I can tell you that one sold for $45.7 million. Now, a potential buyer will look at this and say, wait a minute, this property next door had way better views, like significantly better views. It was clear, it was eye level, one of the best view properties in LA. And plus that, it had the right approach. It had a lot of flat land, right? You had side yards, huge backyard. And all these are going to be negative in the eye of a buyer when they come to see this property. I think the photography is done really well. I think it's cohesive. I think the real estate agent is doing a fantastic job representing the property. But at the end of the day, the buyer is going to look next door, you know, and that is going to be a headwind for this property. Now, you can contact a listing agent and ask them all the questions you want, give them a call. And if you want to know how much I would pay for this property, you can contact me at arvin@arvinhadad.com. Now, if you like this video, you will probably also like this this video. And if you watched till this point, I would really appreciate if you like or comment. It helps the algorithm find people just like you who are interested in this type of content. Tell me in the comments below if you agree with my strategy or if you think there's other reasons why this property hasn't sold. I would love to hear that. And thanks for watching. I will see you in the next video.